Okay, forgive the brevity here. I'm about to go work out. I just got off work, but try to make this quick. A soul, concept of a soul. I think that from what I've been studying, what I've been thinking, I've been writing a lot about everything emanating from a field of consciousness. Let's say that's what the world is. It's just everything arising from a state of consciousness. You have deity A and deity B. C is the observer. The observer sees deity A, let's say through an archetype in the mind, then they channel their energy into that. The observer C then realizes as they get older they don't like deity A. They then reserve their energy for themselves, and then they realize that they feel better because they're not giving that thing, that energy trap, that deity, their energy. They realize then the lessons they learn from the archetype, and I say archetype, they don't need to be serving that thing to have those lessons. In relation to a soul, why I think a soul could be a trap is this a concept which binds you to a religion or a spiritual practice. I'm going to say mostly religious, which keeps you in a religious sphere, almost a prison, where people sit there and they say to you, well, if you masturbate on Monday, if you don't like women with red hair, if you don't like palm trees on Wednesday, if you don't tithe 1% of your money, I'm not pointing a finger at any religious belief, I'm saying, like, think about this, then you don't deserve the eternal life of what this soul can offer. In reality, it's like if you're going down the street, you see a street, like I just passed the street back there, it's called Christensen, I think it is. And on Christensen Street, that's just a label that somebody affixed to a pathway. A soul is a label for a state of consciousness. It's a label that's affixed to a pathway which leads, somebody figured this out years ago, which leads to, let's say, what people perceive to be an afterlife. Maybe that's merging with what people can call source, which would be, you merge with the infinite, the field of consciousness, the main field, let's say, that you arose from. There's no devils or let's just say there's no devils or angels against you or anyone. Those are all just emanations of consciousness that you align with because you are energy matching up with some other sort of energy. It's no different than almost like racial stuff, where you have somebody that's Caucasian or African American will oftentimes feel more at ease unless they're incredibly liberal with people from their own race. It's not racist for me to say that. That's just oftentimes how personal psychologies work. We feel more at ease, with more comfort when we're around, the types of people we were raised with. And it goes into a whole other thing with social science, but I don't want to get into that right now. So in relation to a soul, it's like somebody could sit there and say that, you have to wear a green shirt on Monday, go to a religious gathering on Tuesday, offer up your firstborn virgin daughter to, somebody on Wednesday, and if you don't do that, you don't get a soul, you don't get a place in our deities, our emanation of consciousness is heaven. And that just seems a little absurd to me. That doesn't seem loving or kind. I don't believe in sins. It's kind of like, and maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but it just feels like if everything is emanating from consciousness, therefore you wouldn't need a soul to go on. Excuse me, my therefore was a little off. But you wouldn't need a soul to go on. You would just be this thing, this entity. And then I have to sit there and ask the question, it's like, what if you figure things out and are good on your own with morality, with ethics, with things of that nature? Then why would you want to put that into another living situation with, let's say, religious people? I'm not insulting that either because I'm not against it. I was born non-denominational or raised non-denominational Christian. Although nowadays I don't identify as that. I don't hate the figure of Christ. I think he was just a philosopher. I don't want to come across as anti-Christ or anti-religion, because how could you be anti something which you had a part of if you chose to align with that path? You see how that works? If I'm consciousness arising from a field of consciousness, and here I am arising, and then you have religion which arose a long time ago, then I don't have to put my energy into that. I can just put my energy into myself and be ethical and moral and a decent individual to others. And in doing so, that doesn't empower me, it doesn't make me feel better, because if I were to be being empowered or feeling like I was better than someone else, I wouldn't be a good educator or teacher. You can be proud of yourself. I don't think that pride is a sin, because if you think about it, even the pastor, when he puts his tie on in the morning, they feel pride. Their wife says, fix your bow tie. You're going to speak in front of a large audience today, or a large congregation. We want you looking good. Is that a sin that they're being prideful, that they're taking value in their appearance? If there is something that's greater than us, I think that thing wouldn't mind, if we kind of, felt a certain way. It just seems like, lust is it's our evolutionary drive to procreate, go forth and multiply. It's, so I don't think that's negative. I don't want to get into it though too much. Somebody could say gluttony was somebody's, they're reveling in life, they're enjoying their life in their own way. It doesn't make it a sin necessarily. A lot of those things are outdated when you think of where they came from an evolutionary standpoint. But I'm getting sidetracked. I don't want to feel like I'm bashing, certain belief structures. But anyway, that was just an idea I had.